Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to take a closer look at Nvidia. There's a lot of updates that have come out in the past day or so. First, we're going to take a closer look at the top 500 super list of supercomputers, where we get to see a lot of different companies from AMD, Intel, and obviously Nvidia take the top 10 positions. After that, I also want to take a closer look at some recent updates that Nvidia shared in their press release website. And finally, I do want to end today's episode by taking a closer look at a new price target that we did get from an analyst a few days before earnings. So let's take a closer look at all that in today's episode.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So the first thing we're going to take a closer look at is the top 500 list. And for those that are not familiar, there's all these supercomputers all over the world. And there's obviously a great place, a great medium to kind of find out which one is the best of the best, who has the better supercomputers, where the better supercomputers are located, what kind of CPUs, what kind of GPUs are they using. So while none of this, in my opinion, is going to drive stock prices, it does kind of help us to see who are some of the top tech players in this space. So right now we can see that the number one and the most powerful system continues to be the Frontier system at Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee in the United States. And this is using both AMD's third generation EPYC CPUs and AMD Instinct MI250X accelerators. So obviously, if you are an AMD bull, you might be like, hey, Jose, AMD is already releasing its next generation. Gen 5 actually is expected to come out later this year of their EPYC CPUs, and they're just releasing the MI300. They're going to expect to release the MI350X. What can those new technologies do for AMD, and will they continue to hold the top position? Now, number two on the list is another United States based company, and this one is called the Aurora system at Illinois, United States. This right now is not a fully complete system, but is still the second machine to break that exascale barrier. This one's using Intel's CPUs and Intel's data center GPU Max Series accelerators. So now number three on the list is Microsoft's clouding solution, the ecosystem, and this is number three. This is the highest ranking cloud system on the top 500. If you take a closer look, the other two are more from national laboratories, where this is more of just a clouding system, and this one's using Intel's Xeon CPUs and Nvidia H100 accelerators. Now, I know what some of you might be wondering. Jose, how is Nvidia saying that they have the best and most powerful chips if they are only number three here? Why are they not number one? So, Nvidia's chips right now are dominating in the AI space. For HPC, or high performance computing, which is what most of these tests are done, that's using some other type of solution. So before we go any further, we are now on the road to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you all for the crazy support. So if you haven't and are enjoying the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Finally, if you want to support the channel a little bit more, make sure to check out my special offer at fool.com/Jose. Now back to today's episode. Yeah, so traditional high HPC uses 64-bit floating point computation, where right now in the AI market, you might be using 32, 16, and even 8-bit. And I do believe we're going to continue to see that. So that's why it's great to understand what type of workloads are kind of dominating the space right now, to try to understand, hey, look, do we need a supercomputer that's meant for HPC? Do we need a supercomputer that's meant for AI market? I think eventually these two are going to kind of cross path, and you're going to need the strength of both in one. So those are some of the cool things that I wanted to mention there. The other thing is I do want to show the top 500 list. And like we saw, number one was AMD, number two was Intel, but number three, number six, number seven, eight, nine, and 10 are all NVIDIA systems. Some other interesting notes. One of the only ones that made the new list here was number six, and this is Alps. And this is using NVIDIA's Grace Hopper 200 super chip, the GH200, right? I'm super excited for the Grace Blackwell 200, but right off the bat, we can see that the Grace Hopper is already an amazing chip. jumping to number 6 right from the get-go, and being one of the newer systems on the top 10 and one of the newer systems online as well. Another interesting note is Intel's Aurora supercomputer, which was the number 2 that we just took a closer look at, is also the world's fastest AI supercomputer available right now. This computer has roughly 21,000 CPU processors and nearly 64,000 data center GPUs. And I know some of you might be wondering, Jose, how does this number of GPUs compare to maybe some of NVIDIA's supercomputers on the list? If we take a closer look at the supercomputer list, we do know that number 3 was the Eagle supercomputer by Microsoft, and that one has only roughly 14,000 GPUs. So we can see a huge difference between 14,000 GPUs and 63,000 data center GPUs in this Aurora systems. Now, I want to take a closer look at some recent updates from Nvidia, and then we're going to look at their overall price target. The first one that I saw came out here on May 13th of 2024, and it talks about Nvidia's good partner Recursion, ticker RXRX. And this is a company that we have followed in this channel before. So RXRX is kind of like a biotech company that is using artificial intelligence to help kind of develop either new forms of medicines, new form of proteins. We can see the stock was up over 10% and 3% after hours. So here, NVIDIA just kind of showcases some of the strength about Recursion. NVIDIA also has some form of ownership in this company, but right now Recursion has the largest system in the pharmaceutical industry. It's called the BioHive 2, and it is located at their Salt Lake City headquarters location, and it is the number 35 top supercomputer in the world. So that's pretty crazy, right? This is a company with less than $2.5 billion market cap, and it has such a strong asset of a huge supercomputer, one of the top 100 supercomputers in the world. So I do believe they do have some strength there, especially with that great partnership with NVIDIA. So just to kind of look at the numbers, the BioHive 2 packs roughly 500 NVIDIA H100s. And this is they have another supercomputer, the BioHive 1, which is also using, I believe, NVIDIA's A100 solutions. So we can see Recursion is a big customer, but also a big partner of NVIDIA. Recursion is already collaborating with various biopharma companies to kind of develop and create a lot of databases to develop their own foundational model to help develop maybe the next future of medicine. If you've been watching this channel, you might have watched my video where I talked about how the healthcare market is the biggest market opportunity that NVIDIA believes is going to happen within the next few years. It's going to be where a lot of money is going to be spent, especially for AI. So Recursion is probably one of my favorite plays here. It's not a position I would ever make a huge position, but it's one of those that can definitely be a nice 10 bagger in the future if executed correctly. Another thing is I do enjoy reading a lot of these press releases, even though if maybe some of them are not anything crazy, it gives me some form of investment ideas. Like we saw, Recursion was one that I've read from NVIDIA numerous times before. So it's how it entered my radar. And here we can see that Recursion also uses NVIDIA's DGX Cloud hosted by Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So this is how I also started to get more familiarized and see the strength of Oracle Cloud as a huge kind of clouding company because they keep partnering up with companies like Nvidia. Now, the final thing I want to take a closer look at is Jefferies did maintain a buy on Nvidia, but raised their price target to $1,200 from $780. Remember, the stock is sitting at $900 right now. The main reason is obviously there's this huge push in AI. We're still in early innings of AI. They do believe that the GB200, which I keep talking about, is going to be a great revenue maker for Nvidia. And outside of that, Jefferies also believes that the H20 is going to be coming out in China in the second half of this year, which will obviously be a nice revenue boost for Nvidia as well, as right now they're not making any money in China in forms of AI solutions. So pretty interesting there. Jefferies analyst also does believe that right now we're still in early innings of AI, And there's no real true winner. Nvidia is their favorite right now, but there's obviously other players that can definitely win in this space. So right now we're still in early innings. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what are some of your top AI companies that you are enjoying and believe can be a nice winner like Nvidia? So take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.